Hello everybody, this is Jake Theobald from Science, Engineering, and Math's digital team, and I'm here today to talk to you on behalf of the Anatomy and Physiology editorial team about some basic skills for editing questions in McGraw-Hill's Connect tool. In order to start our demonstration, I first of all want to guide your attention to the address bar in my browser. I'm going to the URL connect.mcgraw-hill.com. If you enter that into your address bar and hit return, you will load the home page for McGraw-Hill's Connect. Next thing I'm going to do is log into my account in Connect. When I get in here, what you'll see is that the A&P team has preloaded my account with the Saladin Gold Standard demo course. By the time you get to the national sales meeting, you should have that loaded into your account as well. And the first thing I did once I got that course in my account is I went to this drop down and I chose duplicate course. And once I did that, I created this scratch copy of the Saladin Gold Standard demo course. And it's in this scratch copy that I'm going to do my demonstration. The idea here is that I'm keeping the original information that the A&P team gave me as sort of a sacred template. And whenever I do edits, like for instance when you do edits for a professor, I'll be doing it in the scratch copy of the course. So to move on, I'm going to click section 1 in my scratch copy here, and what you'll see is a representation of this course loads up in the browser. So here's a bunch of different assignments that are part of this course, and the assignment I want to work on today for the purposes of our demonstration is the labeling questions assignment. So I'll click that link, labeling questions, and in loads the first question of this assignment. So the first thing I want to do is tell Connect that I want to edit some questions that are in this assignment. So to do that, I'll click this link up here, Edit Questions. Now, Connect then loads a list representation of the questions that are part of this assignment. And so now I'm telling Connect I want to isolate into the connective tissues of a muscle question. So I'll click this link. Now, Connect loads that question up, and what I finally want to do is tell Connect, yes, this is the question I want to edit. So if I float on the icon here in the upper right, it says edit this question. If I click that, what will happen is Connect will load the Easy Test environment. Now, as part of Easy Test loading, you'll probably see Java load here. I might get a dialog box that comes up that asks for permission. Here we go, ask for permission to run an applet. I'll say allow to that. And in a sense, all I'll do is just kind of wait for this environment to get completely loaded into Connect. Just takes a few seconds. The load times for Java only happens once. So here I am now. Now what I'll do is grab the scroll bar on the right, move down to the bottom of the question, and I want to click this new object so that I can get into the true editing environment for this question. So I'll grab the lower right hand corner here of the question, open it up a little bit, and what I want to do today is add a label here for the head of the femur. So I've got all these labeling objects here. These are the doc items that the student essentially, when they're doing the problem, they see the doc items, but then all these labels are empty. So they would, in a sense, grab tendon, drag it over here and drop it, that kind of thing. So in order to create a new label, I want to go to this tool palette here on the right side, and I want to click Labels. So I click that, and I click Define Labels. And now I just put in the information for the label that I want to define. So I put some information in there, and I hit accept. And since I only want to add one label, I say finish, and you'll see here now that the label item was added and the doc item was added. So the first thing I want to do as a person who's editing these questions is I want to adjust this label, get it in a nice position. So I bring it up here, and you'll see it kind of snaps to the grid line here, and I just let go of the mouse, and then it's positioned well. So now the leader here is kind of leading off into space. I want to grab that nodule at the end of the line, adjust it so it's right on top of where I want it to be. And if I wanted, I could grab the nodule here at the elbow too and make an adjustment, but I think it was in a pretty good place when I started. So there, that looks pretty good. Now I want to come over here and take a look at the doc items. You'll see the head doc item landed right on top of the blood vessels doc item. So I want to kind of drag that down here and adjust it. You'll see again, it snaps to these grids, and I just want to drop it in a place. So the question now has my new label, but still looks pretty darn good. So at this point, I'm pretty happy with what I've done, and I want to publish my results. So in order to do that, I go over to the tool palette here and I pick Publish. And then I click the Quick Publish button. And then I say I want to publish this exercise. And I want to finish my work here. So next step is basically to save and close my way out of the EasyTest environment. Essentially what I'm doing is dropping out of EasyTest, going back to the main Connect course so that I can see the changes I just made within the context of my course. So now I'm back in Connect, and I want to go one more time. I want to say save and exit here. And what happens is I'll drop back to the main course page, the page that I dropped into when I first clicked section 1 in the Scratch copy of the Saladin demo course. So here I am, and what I want to do is click the labeling questions item again, and what you'll see now is that this question now has the label for the head in it. So there it is. Looks good. Made that addition. So I'm going to float over the top of that now, and I'm going to note it. I want to pull to your attention here the idea that the leader lines here, when I float over the top of a label, a zoom window comes up and it shows me the precise location that leader line points to. Okay, that's a feature in Connect that you'll want to talk to professors about. Another thing to notice is that as I'm on top of that, the hint has popped up. And if you look at that hint, the portion of the femur that fits snugly into the socket of the Pavlov bone. Okay, so I've got a typo there that I didn't notice. So the next thing I want to do is show you how to go in and adjust the, you can adjust anything, the name of a label, the hint that comes up the label. I'll show you how to do an edit of it, and then ultimately I'm going to show you how to delete a label. Okay, so we're not done editing. Let's go back in and edit questions. So I'll click the edit question link. And again, the list representation now, so I want to go to the connective tissues of a muscle. Now I want to tell Connect that yes, I want to edit this question. Now EasyTest will load, and you'll notice that I won't get nearly the load times or the interruptions that I got the first time I came in. And that's good for your whole browser session. Click the new link again. So here's the editing environment loading up. All right. So now you'll notice that all these labels have this little O tab here. And if I click that, you can think of that as like the drop-down tool palette on how to operate on that item. So I'll click it. And so we'll pretend right now that what I really wanted to do initially was edit that label and fix that typo that I had. So I'll click Edit Label, and you'll see then that I have the opportunity, if I can type here, pelvic, to fix that, and I'll accept it. And if I float over the top of that head now, you'll see the portion of the femur that fits snugly into the socket of the pelvic bone. So everything looks good. Another thing that you might want to notice while we're in here is see how I've got this nice single leader line. There's also types of leader lines like here's a bracket leader line. So it kind of brackets the striations of this muscle. And then down here you'll see a forked leader line. If I wanted to make an adjustment in my leader line, I could again click the tool palette based on that label. And what I can do is go to connector options, and I can fiddle around in here with the pointer type. So the default is a single leader line. If I click it, that's what the fork 2 comes up, and that's what I pick if I wanted to have the 2 forks there. There's also a fork 3, fork 4, fork 5. So you can imagine if you have a dissection view up here, you want to point to multiple different pieces of a structure that all represent the same item. You can do that. Also the bracket selection. Horizontal bracket would be a bracket, except that, well, the horizontal bracket is actually the one you saw in this demonstration. The first bracket is a vertical bracket. And then default, which is the single leader line version that we saw. So I'm going to cancel out of this. I don't want to adjust this leader line. It actually looks fine, but I wanted you to be aware of that adjustment. So ultimately, what I really want to do here now that I came back in is I want to delete that head label. So I'll go up, I'll drop down that tool palette again. I'll say I want to delete the label in doc. And look, the head label disappeared and the head doc item has disappeared. So in order to promote that change back out to my assignment, all I have to do is go over to the tool palette and click the Publish button. Click Quick Publish. Click Publish Exercise. Finish. Now save and close my way out of EasyTest. Save and exit. Drop back out and click Save and Exit out of this question in Connect. So now here I am back at the main view of my course, and you'll notice now if I go into the labeling question item, the question will load up and the head label will be gone. So now you know, as soon as we see this here, now you know the basic skills behind how to adjust labeling questions that the A&P team wants you to know for certification at the National Sales Meeting. So good luck. Hope you pass certification. Have a good time in Phoenix. Goodbye.